Hey, what up, y'all? Spence here with your Weekly Truth. Now, if you remember a few weeks back, we were hitting the 10 Commandments pretty hard. So today we're going to finish those 10 Commandments up with number 9 and 10. They're found in Exodus chapter 20, and they go like this. You must not testify falsely against your neighbor. You must not covet your neighbor's house. You must not covet your neighbor's wife, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. So if you remember back, these 10 Commandments, they kind of split into two different themes. Love God and then love others. So these are the last of the love others commandments. And while they may seem like total common sense to you, they're actually harder to put into practice than you might think. So let's first look at number 9. You must not falsely testify against your neighbor. Now, most people try to simplify this down into you can't tell a lie. But I tell you, it's so much more serious than that. It's much more damaging to our community. It's a false statement against your neighbor. It's gossip, it's slander, and at its core, it's rooted in greed and hate. It breeds broken trust and destroys relationships, and its devastation reaches deep into every aspect of our community around us. James, the brother of Jesus, devoted half of chapter 3 of his letter to controlling the tongue. He explicitly describes how evil and corrupt the tongue is. But furthermore, in verse 2, he says, "Indeed, we all make many mistakes. For if we could control our tongue, we would be perfect, and we could also control ourselves in every other way." He tells us here that if we could truly tame the tongue, then we can learn all kinds of self-control and discipline needed to be a living sacrifice to God. Finally, number 10. You must not covet. Now, coveting is a kind of jealousy for material possessions, relationships, and even job situations. Anything that can be viewed as a possession, which is almost everything in today's culture, can be coveted. And when the evil seeds of greed begin to grow in this way, it slowly and methodically erodes our communities of trust. James 1:14 and 15 says, "Temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us and drag us away. These desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death." When we covet, we begin to rationalize why we need to have those things more than someone else. And once we rationalize that, it's not a far leap before we start to take action on our temptation and step into sin. We think selfishly, putting our human desires over what God has called us to value. We put ourselves over the people around us, and if we could truly love our neighbor as ourselves, then we would put others' needs before our own wants. Well, that's it for you this week on The Weekly Truth. If you like this video, make sure to let us know by hitting that like button and share it with your friends around you. Have a blessed week, and I'll catch you next time on The Weekly Truth.